Hi, John. Welcome back.
Hi.
Um, so last time we had a goal of having you write a letter of your feelings towards your wife, and I was wondering if you were able to accomplish that goal.
Yes, I ended up writing more of an open letter though, where I got to kind of express my emotions. I didn't feel like it was right to give it to her yet, but I think we did talk about me bringing it in first if I was comfortable with that. Um, I didn't bring it in, but I remember it.
Okay. Do you want to share some of what you talked about in your letter?
I can just because it was long, I can just kind of get to the basics. I just kind of focused on the impact that it has on I think our relationship. I realized that I'm more afraid of losing my youth that I have left into a child. Um, and within that, I feel like that's why when it comes to trying to perform, it's a big push for also me realizing that I'm getting older,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a self confidence issue. Um, and and the child just didn't help. It exacerbated the idea of being older and having that time against you, I guess.
So it sounds like you just have a lot of stress going on about you feeling like you're getting older and that you don't have time for all of these things. Um, do you have any ways of coping with this stress?
Um, Not really. I kind of grew up in a generation where we kind of had to bottle our feelings. So that's why this is a big step for me because before this, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to constantly show emotion. Obviously, I tried to express what was happening to me with my wife, but I don't think I was able to fully express how it felt, or at least express the emotions to what I was saying. So being sad, or like having that space to just cry, or to reflect on me getting older, or reflect on things that are now becoming too far out of my reach in my life. And I think that's when I realized that open letter helped me have that space because I found myself being emotional writing it and had the time to cry and reflect and express them.
How did you feel after you were able to be emotional?
Um, I just felt free. I felt like a lot of weight was off my chest. Um, I just felt better.
Do you think that feeling better by being able to release that helped you, like even that day, like feel better, feel less stressed?
I definitely felt less stressed. Um, I felt that I just felt more validated, I guess. So yeah, because just being able to do that and express that. Um, but the problem I'm having is how I'm going to be able to do that while I'm still making these decisions with my wife about this child.
Mhm. Can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
That's fine. Um, I'm I'm worried. Well, I find it hard to incorporate how I was able to reflect my emotions and express them with an open letter through to when I'm talking to my wife about our future and this child.
So, do you think that you'd be able to talk about what you wrote in that letter with her? Do you think that's a step that you're ready to take?
Um, I think at this point I have no choice.
And how does that, you sounded kind of sad when you just said that you have no choice. How does that feel not to have a choice?
Um, it feels weird, but at the same time, I know that that's just part of having a family, is that you have to make sacrifice. And in the end, I think this is a sacrifice that's going to better myself anyways. So I guess I'm just worried, nervous for the outcome.
What kind of outcome would there be?
I'm just worried that if I express my emotions, it would make I'll feel less like a man, and it will keep me in that back to that loop of not being able to feel like myself, at least sexually.
And those feelings of not feeling like a man, do those stem, like you said earlier, from your childhood and being raised not to show emotion?
I would think so because that's all I can think of is like my father telling me that to be a man, not to not to express those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a big thing is when it came to the decision in the family, even though I do believe that both partners should have a choice, I think the biggest thing is I felt that my voice was not being heard, so I felt like I lost power, even though I didn't need to. So I think a lot of it comes from like my father's views that have been instilled in me, and I'm just starting to realize it now.
And it seems like being validated and being heard seems to be really important to you. And it seems like that stems from your childhood. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, do you still feel like that in your relationship with your wife, that you, like, as you're not being heard?
Um, at this point, yes, just because we haven't had the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
but I know it's not fair to her that if she doesn't know how I truly am feeling and fully expressing how it's impacting me the way I should be, then there's no way she would know how to fix it. So
Right.
I know it has a large portion on me and what I should do.
So you said earlier that sharing this letter with her, you have no choice, but that you know in the long run it's going to be the best choice. So when do you think you'll be able to make that choice and sit down with her and talk with her about it?
I don't know at this time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just gonna have to reflect and kind of come up with the best time for myself.
Do you think that maybe writing another letter to even maybe someone besides your wife, maybe someone else who's been influential to you, might help you with your emotions more? Because earlier you stated that having the ability to be emotional helped you a lot. Do you think that writing a letter to somebody else might give you that same feeling again?
Um, I think the best thing, because I realize that a lot of this is from self-reflection,
Mm-hmm.
is maybe to write a letter to myself.
Mm-hmm.
At least what my write a letter to my past self or even my future self, and either try to disprove or try to explain maybe why my views are wrong and how I can better myself.
That sounds really good idea. Um, I also wanted to recommend or see how you felt about maybe a daily journal. And because, like I stated, and that you stated, being able to write down your feelings what allowed you to be emotional, and maybe doing that every day, even writing a sentence every day, might be helpful to you.
That's a good idea. I'd like to do that.
Okay, great. So let's have that be our goal for next time is to try to start doing a daily journal, and we'll meet back up then.